From the University of California at Irvine, welcome to the Huntington Beach Invitational as the action is underway here. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions. It's the Nomads in white going right to left on our video dial. They're going up against the Real Madrid Redhawks out of Los Angeles. They'll go left to right on our video dial wearing red and black shirts. We'll gradually take a look at the starting lineups as we go along. As the Nomads' Garrett Markham works along the far side, he'll be playing in the right wing position. Graham Collier, the center forward, Robert Bessler on the left wing. Taking a look at the midfield positions for the Nomad, we'll have Jose Maldonado as the center midfielder, Doug Pate on the right side, and Gerald Coughlin on the left. The stopper is Jeff Alexander. The sweeper, Steve Sharundalo. Carl Gustafson on the right defensive side, and Robert Kaufman, the left defender. And starting in the goal position for the Nomads is Matt Serenas. We'll probably see David Meisner in the second half as the Nomads work it on the far side. Controlling, we'll very quickly take a look at the starting lineup for the Redhawks. They'll go with a 4-3-3 formation, starting with Ovidio Martinez in the goal spot. Rashid Nomad is the sweeper. Adrian Davalis the stopper. The right defender is Willie Valdivia Mares. And Trevor Michaud as the left defender. The midfielders at the center mid position is Jason McGee. Right midfielder is Gerardo Herrera. And Boris Gill on the left side. Up front is Cesar Gonzalez starting at the center forward position. Ronald Hairston at the right wing. As that shot comes in from way outside. As Steve Rojas will start at the left wing. We'll also see action from Devin Bodie up front as well. Sammy Sylvan will come in as a defender, and Max Castillo as a midfielder for the Redhawks. They're coached by Steve Michaud. The Nomads are coached by Jim Coughlin. We'll take a look at the previous victories for each respective team here in a moment as the Nomads cross it to the outside here to Robert Kaufman working on the near side. And marked nicely by Trevor Michaud here on the near side. The center referee for this afternoon's game is Amin Shakil. Len Zoller, a linesman, along with Jeff Namdar as the shot comes in. The header by the Hawks. As you can see, Cesar Gonzalez just trying to head it out as the Redhawks take it across the halfway line. Cesar Gonzalez was marked there, the sliding tackle by Jose Maldonado. As Alejandro Gutierrez works on the far side, as the Nomads take it across the halfway line, marked and tackled nicely by Adrian Davalis. Davalis quickly works up to Gonzalez, and a sliding tackle there by Gerard Coughlin. Maldonado pushes it up to Markham.
Everybody off the line.
Let's go.
Off the line.
Off the line. Off the line. Off the line.
So the Redhawks, winning their previous 4 games by a 15-1 margin, opened up the tournament with a 1-0 victory against the Emperors. They went on to defeat the Celtics 3-1 on Friday. Saturday they were undefeated as well, beating the Jaguars of New Mexico 2-0, and then shutting out Poway 9-0, winning in a laugher there. On the other hand, the Nomads on Saturday defeating the Irvine Strikers 1-0, went on to beat Simi Valley, the Alliance squad, 2-1. Then on Sunday, in yesterday's opening game, they defeated the Cisco Flames 2-0, and they're out of Arizona. State champion, won the regional the year before that, so the Nomads coming away with a big victory there as the Hawks trying to get the ball into the goal area. Finally tapped away there by the Nomads. Jeff Alexander, the big stopper for the Nomads, getting that one out across the halfway line for the Nomads as Alejandro Gutierrez works on the far side. Crosses it in. That one broken up by Trevor Michaud, the talented defender for the Redhawks. In yesterday's final game, the Nomads defeated the Irvine Lasers 4-1.
Come on, Trevor. Come on. 1 minute.
So an exciting soccer matchup in the making here this afternoon. this game, the semifinal. The winner of this game will go on to play against the winner of the Arsenal and Emperor game. Many people feel these two teams in the semifinal are the most talented teams in their brackets. Robert Kaufman on the near side sends it in for the Nomads as they attempt to trap. Goes back to Kaufman. Finally broken up by Jason McGee and then controlled by Gerald Cochran, who crosses it in. As they send it outside, working on the far touchline is Gutierrez. Marked nicely by the Red Hawks. And Cesar Gonzalez controlling.
Move it up, Jason. Come on.
Real Madrid out of Los Angeles working here on the near side. McGee sends it up strongly on the right side to Steven Rojas. As that ball crosses the goal line. It'll be a strong goal kick coming in as they send it up towards Graham Callier, who sends it outside to Gutierrez. As you can see, Willie Valdivia Moraes hustling back on the defensive end for the Redhawks. Rashid Nomad has that one get away from him, almost controlled there by Robert Bessler. Just trying to work 1-on-2. Finally, the defense getting the job done for the Redhawks.
Out, out, out!
So the corner kick coming in there by the Nomads, unsuccessful and broken up nicely as Ovidio Martinez comes out of the box to make the play. The attempted header there by Garrett Markham, that one just getting over his head. As Boris Gill works on the far side, sends it up. As you can see, Gerardo Herrera hustling up just to try to get in front of the defenders, but to no avail as Matt Serenas comes out of the box to make the play for the Nomads.
Come on, boys!
The big, strong left-footed kick by Cesar Gonzalez. Jose Maldonado splitting the defenders on the far side. Finally knocked away there nicely by Rashid Nomad. Actually out of Bangladesh. He's only been playing the game of soccer for 2 or 3 years, he says.
Hey, Steve,
In a country that you would think that that's all they would play.
let him play you. Let him play you, Steven.
Hustling back defensively is Carl Gustafson.
Steve!
Finally gets that one away. You can see him working nicely against Ronald Hairston. Sharundalo on the far side sends one up high. So the ball just working back and forth here at the halfway line. No one team gaining offensive possession as Carl Gustafson comes up with the defensive play for the Nomads.
Yeah, come on, guys.
The Nomads played earlier in the San Diego Surf Tournament, were defeated in the quarterfinals by the Arsenal squad 2-0. As the corner kick will come in here momentarily for the Redhawks. The big, strong left-footed kick comes in. The header there nicely by Jose Maldonado to get that one out of the penalty area.
Come on, guys, get up.
Adrian Davalos trying to control for the Redhawks. The cross inside. You can see them attempting to work it inside to Gerardo Herrera. That one getting away.
Go after the ball, Red Hawks. Let's go.
So kind of a cloudy day here at the University of California at Irvine. The sun trying to break away from the clouds as Hairston works on the near side, taps it back to McGee, and that one hitting off the back of forward Robert Bessler.
Come on.
Jason McGee crosses it in, and a nice defensive play there by the Nomad Steve Sharundala. And the follow, and another shot just off to the right. An exciting series of shots there. Trying to be finished off by the Real Madrid Redhawks.
All right, guys.
And that ball just shooting just off to the right side of the goal. So a gallant attempt there by Gerardo Herrera, the last player to touch the ball.
Come on, guys.
So the goal kick, the result here, as the Nomads taking advantage of a little right-to-left wind as they send it up near the halfway line. The header by the Hawks, the reverse kick, the bicycle kick, if you will, by the talented Cesar Gonzalez. McGee strongly crosses it into Herrera. Herrera unable to control. Herrera working against two defenders. That one broken up nicely by Jeff Alexander.
Gerardo.
So the Hawks keeping the ball on their side of the field in the last few minutes of play, giving the Nomads a little scare a moment ago. So the Red Hawks should maintain possession here. As you see, an injured player on the field will take an injury timeout and be back in a moment. Jason McGee with the powerful throw, and you can see him trying to toss it in towards Gerardo Herrera. That one banged away there by the Nomad squad.
Nice, Trevor.
Big kick upfield by La Jolla as Rashid Nomad sends it back up the other way.
Put it on the ground. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Trapping here is Robert Bessler.
Guys.
So the ball moving very fluidly back and forth here across the halfway line as finally Steve Shrundalo gives way to Matt Serenas.
That's you, that's you, that's you.
So the Nomads looking for back-to-back victories here. Their 13 and under team just defeated Canyon Classic by a score of 3-2. They were led by Shane Walton. He had a goal and 1 assist. Matt Douglas and Eric Ocampo also had goals in that game. Eric Ocampo, normally a right-footed kicker, snuck one in with his left foot. So the Nomad under 13 team successful over the Canyon Classic team 3-2. Big high kick here towards the near touchline.
Right, too far.
So unofficially halfway through the first half of play, still no score here. Both teams very evenly balanced, as you see Sharundala hustling back on the defensive end, and of course Matt Serenas having plenty of time to come out of the box. Big strong kick there by Adrian Davalos. Carl Gustafson sends it up for the Nomads.
Next stop is around 7.
Keep it on the ground.
Barry, how much time is left?
15 minutes. Wait a second.
So unofficially 15 minutes left in the opening half of play. Steven Sharundalo marked in tackle nicely there by Cesar Gonzalez. A little contact made will put the ball back in possession of La Jolla. So the Real Madrid team playing together for a while now, coming off a successful tournament or two. For example, they won the Rose Bowl Classic to finish the season last year against Pasadena, the Exiles. They beat them 1-0. As the Nomads, the shot from just outside the 18, a nice save there by Ovidio Martinez as he went up high to grab that one. Robert Bessler with the shot on goal, tried to send that one up high to the left corner of the goal area. And again, a credit to Ovidio Martinez, showing good lateral speed and good jumping ability to come up and make the play. Header by Gonzalez, attempts to work it out to Herrera, broken up momentarily by Jeff Alexander, the stopper. So the scenario so far, when one team threatens offensively, the defenders get the job done. Still scoreless here. Just over 10 minutes to go in the first half of play, as Steve Machad, the coach of the Red Hawks, about to send Devin Bodie into the lineup, and he'll replace Ronald Hairston. There he is, number 5, Devin Bodie in your screen. We'll give Ronald Hairston a little rest.
Put it in. Come on, Red Hawk. Take control. Take control. Move up.
Adrian Davalos working up towards McKee in the strong kick downfield by Jeff Alexander. Alexander, one of the stronger players physically on the field today. One of the integral defenders for the Nomads this afternoon. The goal kick coming in by the Red Hawks. The header by Jose Maldonado. McGee just trying to trap in front of him. As Robert Bessler working against Trevor Michaud. See Bessler just trying to cross that one in, that one getting away from him and crossing the goal line. Adrian Davalos sends up the goal kick. Maldonado with the header back the other way. And Maldonado splitting 3 defenders. And Rashid Nomad gets the job done on the defensive end.
Go get the ball.
Bessler attempts to cross that one into Gutierrez, broken away nicely there by Davalos.
Go get it. Go get it. Go get it.
So a little contact made on the far side will put the ball in possession of La Jolla. As Carl Gustafson sends it in, headed away by the Red Hawks. That one getting away from Alexander, and Cesar Gonzalez sending up on the right side to Steven Rojas. And a great play there by Matt Serenas, showing great hustle, had to come well out of the box there to not allow Rojas to have a possible shot on goal. Rojas almost getting away there as Rashid Nomad controls it back to Ovidio Martinez. So the Red Hawks quarterfinalists in the State Cup against La Jolla. Also lost in the semis in the Las Virgenes tournament. So had a successful year. That one taken from well outside the 18 there by Jose Maldonado, broken up nicely by the Red Hawks. Carl Gustafson handling the corner kick. As you can see, Graham Callier well inside the net along with Robert Bessler and Garrett Markham. Setting up accordingly just inside that penalty area. That one a little high and far. That one getting well over the head of Jeff Alexander. You can see him rise up to try to head it in. And sliding a tackle as well against Adrian Davalos.
No, sir. Oh, no, it's not. It's penalty.
Come on, control the
Real Madrid controlling momentarily as Trevor Michaud sends it up towards Gonzalez, who goes back to McGee. And coming up defensively is Robert Kaufman, who pushes it up to Gerald Conklin. You can see Bessler heading towards the center, and they'll cross it into him. Goes a little far in the shot from just outside the 18 on the right side by Garrett Markham. Just not unable to get his foot on that one the way he would have liked. Made for an easy play for Ovidio Martinez. The header by Maldonado. Sharundalo sends it back. McGee with a strong kick upfield towards Cesar Gonzalez. Gonzalez working against Sharundalo. Taken away by Alexander. Gerald Conklin here on the near side. So Sammy Sylvan here on the near side. Number 4 in your screen, about to come into the lineup for the Red Hawks.
Adrian.
And he'll be coming in for Steven Rojas. So Coach Steve Michaud giving all the players an opportunity to play here in the first half. So they'll have their confidence as Cesar Gonzalez gets free on the right side, finally slows it down. and crosses it, attempts to cross it inside to Devin Bodie. McGee controlling, pushes it outside to Cesar Gonzalez, only be broken up by the Nomads. As Garrett Markham takes it across the halfway line. You can also see Alejandro Gutierrez working on the far side as well. That one taken away nicely by the Nomads. Willie Valdivia Mares coming up with a nice mark and tackle.
Stay on your feet.
Carl Gustafson, the defender for the Nomads on your far side screen, will handle the toss in. Fairly tall player. As you see, a variety of changes coming in on the far side. We'll get them in a minute. And it appears to be number 12, Doug Pate, and also number 18, Connor Frickman. So again, the philosophy here in the first half of play is the coaches for each respective team getting all of their players into the ballgame.
All right, let's go. Push it up.
Adrian Davalos, the stopper, handling the majority of the free kicks, the goal kicks and free kicks for his team. Alexander with the header towards Gerald Conklin, and controlling is Robert Bessler, who works it up to Conklin, and the fine defensive play there, the tackle by Trevor Machad. And in your screen here for the Nomads, about to set things in play for the La Jolla team. The header by Davalos, Gerardo Herrera, and the header by Jeff Alexander. That one crossing the touchline on the near side will put the ball back in possession of Real Madrid. So we're still scoreless with approximately 5 minutes left to go here in the opening half of play on a somewhat cloudy day here at the University of California at Irvine. Adrian Davalos in your screen. You can see him just trying to survey the field as to who he's going to bring it into. Finally attempted to get it into Gerardo Herrera, who was defended by two of the Nomad players. Squeezing out of nowhere, Steve Sharundala with a fine defensive play. The header by Kaufman. McGee trapping and controlling. Being defended very strongly there by Gerald Conklin.
Good, Jason. You keep your place, Jason.
Come on,
Don't let
guys,
them knock you
play
out of your area.
Push up a little bit. Trevor. Stay there.
Robert Kaufman, the tall defender, handles a toss in,
Okay, go, Jason.
taking advantage of that nice leverage.
Get it, Devin.
You can see Devin Bodie trying to control. Maldonado breaking that one up momentarily, as it appears the ball will cross the goal line on the far side.
Corner!
Cesar Gonzalez on the far side as the corner kick incurs here. You can see Gerardo Herrera, Jason McGee, a variety of players lining up right in that penalty area with the attempted header. And that one by Jason McGee as he lifted up and tried to head it into the right side of the net. That one just getting away and off to the right. But a nice attempt there by the Red Hawks, as Cesar Gonzalez sent in somewhat of a banana kick. Very accurately kicked. As Gustafson sends it up close to the halfway line, has a good strong foot. Rashid Nomad sends it up high. The header there by Herrera.
Go, Jason.
It's
Go.
Jason McGee
Go.
working it outside to Gonzalez as they go back to Boris Gill.
Open it.
Gill showing good quickness, sends it outside to Bodie. Bodie splits the defenders, and Alexander comes away with a nice play. Garrett Markham working on the far side. Works it upfield to Jose Maldonado. And Rashid Nomad right there with the fine mark and tackle for the Red Hawks.
Come on, Devin!
Mares sends it up to Bodie.
All right, Devin.
Fine defensive play there, as you saw Boris Gill try to send it back to Devon Bodie.
Come on, Red Hawks. Come on,
Carl
Red Hawks.
Gustafson
Get to the ball. Boys,
working
go to
against
the
Bodie.
ball. Good, Jason. Go, Jason.
And McGee and Gustafson working one-on-one. Maldonado takes a shot from well outside the 18, up on high over the net. But a nice attempt there by Maldonado. Devin, not Devon.
Steve.
Ovidio Martinez sends it up towards Adrian Davalis.
Go get the ball. Go get it.
That one taken away nicely there by Ronald. And actually make that Doug Pate on the far side.
Take it.
The closing seconds here as Maldonado attempts to take the shot with his left foot. That one sails off to the right.
Let's go, Red Hawks.
So unofficially under 1 minute to play here in the opening half. We're still scoreless. And Sharundalo works it outside to Doug Pate on the far side.
Good, Willie. Good, Willie.
Morass with the fine defensive play.
All right, Boris.
In the air is Sharundalo.
Very good, Sammy.
Good, Adrian.
Davalis with the header here.
Good,
As
good.
they get it up quickly to Devin Bodie, and he's tripped. And Devin apparently not happy with that trip. You can see on the far side as he expresses himself. Apparently he felt that if he could get free, he would have a possible easy shot on goal. So that's, of course, why he's venting his frustration on the far side. As a player goes down, we'll take an injury timeout and be back in a moment. Steve Sharundalo on the far side, walking off the field with Jim Coughlin, the coach, the player responsible for tripping up Devin Bodie. So the free kick coming in here by the Red Hawks. McGee with a strong foot sends it in up high and to the right. As you can see, Adrian Davalis just trying to kick that one towards the goal and losing his footing as he did. So we are playing two 30-minute halves here in the semifinals. The referees might possibly be under the impression that it's a final, but that is it. The referee, Amin Shakil, finally calls the first half of play coming to a close. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions. You're watching the Huntington Beach Invitational. The Nomads 0, the Red Hawks 0 as well. We'll be back in a moment for what looks like an exciting second half of play.
Start the second half the way we finished the first half, okay?
We got it.
You have to win the ball. I don't know. He's forward and deep and halfback.
Okay, well, just hey, you see how he's been leaning on you? You got to lean back. You don't have to hit him. Just lean on him. He's leaning you off the ball. Okay. Lean back on him.
Okay. Look, number 17 gets the ball. We get to him first.
You don't have to put your hand.
Hey,
Jason.
hit him in the first half.
That's all. You want to start off with it? Right, you just start off and see how it is. Got it. You go to sweeper, right? And let him put up the match field. Okay? Let's see how it goes. I know it's difficult. We're going to get it changed soon. Get Stephen back in again. You're going to get back up. Let's go, come on. Let's go, guys. Hurry up, come on, Nomads. Let's win this. Let's kill them off. Let's get shots and goal. Come on.
So the second half of play just underway here. Real Madrid going right to left on our video dial. The Nomads in white will go left to right in this second half of play. So the scenario in the first half, there were only 2 or 3 shots on goal for each respective team. No team able to come away with a goal, so we're at 0-0 as the second half of play gets underway. A little contact on the far side. Put the ball back in possession of the Nomads. As you can see, Adrian Davalis basically running over Gerald Coughlin on the far side. So the free kick coming in from just inside the halfway line as they send it down is belted away by Adrian, or actually make that Maldonado controlling. The cross from way outside. You can see them trying to head it in towards Alejandro Gutierrez. Just in front of him as Gutierrez on the far side. And a nice sliding tackle there by Willie Valdivia Mares. That will result in a corner kick coming in for the Nomads as Gerald Conklin hustles over. Will handle the kick here for La Jolla. Jeff Alexander, the talented stopper and all-around player. You can see him right there in front of the goal area. Very popular for heading the ball in on those corner kicks. You can see him being marked closely by Jason McGee. The header getting away, and the nice sliding tackle there by, or saved by Ovidio Martinez. He appears to be hurt on the play, as you can see the body of Maldonado coming into contact with Martinez's leg area, and that will send Steve Machad, the coach, in to see if Martinez in fact is okay. We'll find out here in a moment. So Ovidio Martinez appearing to be okay, is going to stay in the ball game. The Real Madrid team looking for a penalty on the play. Apparently the center referee Amin Shakil not seeing it the same way. He might have felt that Jose Maldonado, as he tried to shoot that one into the goal, his body slid to the ground, and then his momentum took him towards Ovidio Martinez. So incidental contact might have been what the center referee saw, as no call was made. Carl Gustafson here on the near side, being marked closely by Boris Gill. Mares, as Gutierrez gets away from him, and Ovidio Martinez, he's okay. He hustled out of the goal nicely to make that play. It would appear that if he were hurt in any way, he'd be limping. So apparently just the brunt of the hit slowing him down and sending him to the ground momentarily, and he's all right. For the Nomads, handling the goal spot will be David Meisner here in the second half of play. He'll take the place of Matt Serenas, doing a nice job. Serenas just in your screen a moment ago. The header by Trevor Machad. Alexander in your screen, hustling between the defenders, attempts to send that one out towards Alejandro Gutierrez. Mares will send it in. The header by Devin Bodie. Gustafson working against Bodie. Doug Pate sends it up to Gutierrez. Mares with the defense. And working along the right side is Gutierrez, along with Connor Frickman. And that one sent up high by Maldonado. That one just going over the net by a soccer ball length. If that shot is a foot lower, that could possibly have been the first score of the ball game. As in your screen, you see Cesar Gonzalez here on the near side, number 10. Or actually make that Max Castillo, number 19, coming into the lineup for the Red Hawks. Max seeing action for the first time this afternoon. Maldonado trapping, working against Davalis. See him attempt to split the defenders as Jason McGee comes up with a nice play. Davalis working against Gustafson on the near side. Gill working it back to Mares. Gutierrez with a nice play as he gets around Mares. Gutierrez crosses it in. The centering pass broken up there as Maldonado hustles up, shoots it just way outside to the left of the goal.
Ref! 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 Stop! Stop! Okay, Devin.
Devin Bodie will come out of the lineup, and Ronald Hairston will replace him for the Red Hawks. Maldonado attempting to trap as Pate works it upfield to Frickman and Coming out of the goal, the sliding save by Ovidio Martinez. Ovidio having his work cut out for him this afternoon. Has made some nice plays for the Redhawks all afternoon long. As Gerald Coughlin works on the far side. That was Max Castillo just into the lineup, hustling on that far side on the defensive end.
Don't play kickball with it, guys. Put it on the ground and pass it.
Castillo sends it in. Attempts to go inside to Herrera. You can see the contact by Doug Pate made from behind, and the Redhawks will retain possession on the far side. Apparently a change was made because it appears now that the Nomads will have possession. As they send it up to Gerald Coughlin. Castillo marking and tackling very sharply on that far side. Coughlin decides to hesitate and finally works it back outside. And the big play there by Trevor Machad comes away with the tackle, attempts to send it up to Cesar Gonzalez. And Garrett Markham right there on the defense.
Go midfielders, fill your position.
Gerald Coughlin was slightly hit from behind there by Max Castillo. You can tell it was accidental. The official there, Amin Shakil, just speaking with Max to tell him to be a little bit less aggressive, just to taper down his aggressiveness. As you can see him just ram Gerald Coughlin from behind, not doing it purposely. As we mentioned earlier, the high shot will give Martinez plenty of time to come out and be there to stop a possible shot on goal. Hairston working against Gustafson. Maldonado getting free, pushes it outside to Gutierrez. Gutierrez almost had another cross inside, but Rashid Nomad right there to defend. Nice play by the talented sweeper for Real Madrid. Gerald Coughlin in your screen will handle the corner kick for La Jolla. He's small, but has a good strong foot. Sends it up left-footed. Gutierrez attempting the header, finally broken away by Trevor Machad. Doug Pate sends it in, and the attempted shot there by Gutierrez up over the net. So we are still scoreless here. Just 10 minutes into the second half of play. You can see the sun breaking away from the clouds. Will turn into a very sunny afternoon here. The breeze picking up a hair and not really playing to the advantage of any particular team. Wind just basically crossing right from left to right here, or front to back, I should say, on our video dial. So no one team benefiting from the wind. The Nomads send it inside. You can see them working hard for a shot. That was Robert Bessler. Had to work very hard against 2 or 3 defenders, was unable to turn and get a clear shot on goal. As Alexander attempts to trap. Big kick by McGee. And that one kicked strongly by Gerardo Herrera. Was hoping that a teammate might be lurking just outside the goal area. The header by Davalis, controlled by Maldonado. You can see Gutierrez hustling on the right side, has one step on the defender. And finally, Maldonado decides to send it out to Bessler, who takes the shot. That one taken from a little bit too far outside of Bessler's range. You saw Gutierrez, he was there to try to help out offensively as well, but was defended greatly by Moraes. Davalis sends it up to Cesar Gonzalez. Gill attempting to send it up, and Garrett Markham sends it back to David Meisner. Gill controlling with Moraes here on the near side. Gustafson with the strong kick downfield. Trevor Machad on the defense. So Connor Frickman with the shot right at Odivio Martinez. So that a line shot, but Martinez really not even having to move left or right. As Maldonado pushes out to Conklin, who sends it in. The header by Maldonado just off to the right. Adrian Dovala sends it up. Maldonado there with the header back the other way. Rashid with the header as well. Maldonado just above the penalty arc. Connor Frickman attempting to split the defenders. Gutierrez on the right side as well. And the Redhawks get the job done defensively there. The Nomads are really threatening. Come away without a score as Gill sends it upfield with his left foot. The header by Alexander. Doug Pate attempting to control here at the halfway line. Gill working it up as well. The header by the Nomads. Cesar Gonzalez with the high kick downfield. You can see him trying to direct that one towards Ronald Hairston as Alexander with the big, strong foot we mentioned in the first half sends it well down to the territory of the Nomads. Crosses the touchline, and Willie Valdivia Merez will bring it in for Real Madrid. Gill spanks it towards McGee. Gerardo Herrera sends it out to Max Castillo. Castillo controlling on the far side. Showing good nifty footwork as he controls on the right side. Attempts to cross it in to Herrera. Herrera looking inside to McGee. McGee with his shot. Not able to get his footing. That one got away from him as they send it outside. Hairston with a shot, and that one a nice tackle there by Matt Serenas. David Meisner coming out of the box to make a fine play. So a lot of action there in the goal area for Real Madrid, unable to come away with a score, and that the scenario throughout the whole match this afternoon. A lot of exciting plays in that goal area on the defense for each respective team. As Hairston trying to take it away, does mark and tackle nicely against Carl Gustafson, then it gets away from him and crosses the touchline in favor of the Nomads. The attempted header there by Herrera. Castillo on the outside, he'll cross it in, and he shot actually, and they might squeeze it in. No, the Nomads come up with another fine defensive play as Castillo tries to control here.
Okay, come on, run.
So it appeared that the Redhawks might come away with a score. Gerald Conklin on the far side sends it up left-footed to Robert Bessler. Bessler working against Machad. Bessler just trying to split the defenders, working nicely against Davalos. They attempt to send it into Connor Frickman. It's finally belted away by the Redhawks. Ovidio Martinez sends that kick well out towards the halfway line. McGee goes back to Gonzalez. And the big strong kick by Garrett Markham. Not allowing any type of offensive surges by the Redhawks. So Steven Rojas in your screen coming back into the lineup for Real Madrid. As Mares will take it in. Immediately goes right into Rojas. Attempted to be marked and tackled by Doug Pate. Davalos, you could see him trying to work it outside to Castillo as Gerald Conklin controls as he attempts to work it upfield to Robert Bessler. Adrian Davalos, the strong-footed stopper, will send it up towards Rojas here on the near side. Carl Gustafson pushes it up towards Alejandro Gutierrez. The one-touch pass by Doug Pate out to Gutierrez. Gutierrez working against Willie Mares. And Mares getting the better of that battle. So if the game does, in fact, end in a tie at the end of regulation play, we'll have 2 10-minute overtime periods. And then we will have the alternating of kicks to decide a winner if we're still tied after the 2 overtime periods. So this one appearing to go right down to the wire. These teams very, very evenly matched as McGee works against Alexander. Tries to send it downfield to Gerardo Herrera. And Herrera showing great hustle on that far side. Meisner showing just as much hustle coming out of the box to make the play for the Nomads. Gonzalez and Castillo working on the far side. His attempt to cross it in. That one getting away from the Redhawks.
Go, 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 go!
Carl Gustafson nicely splitting the defenders here, finally controlled by Rojas, and Gill on the breakaway here on the near side. And hustling back nicely was Garrett Markham. And a fine defensive play as you saw Rojas get free there momentarily on what appeared to be a breakaway and a possible shot by the Redhawks. As Moresh brings it in to Gill. Gill crosses it in, the nice header there by Alexander. That a great play. If that ball gets by Alexander, possibly Herrera or McGee have an easy shot on goal. So fine defensive play, Jeff Alexander. You can see the contact being made on Robert Bessler. And Garrett Markham will send it in to Doug Pate. Back to Markham. Markham over to Conklin. Conklin back to Markham. They're just working the ball back and forth, just looking to gradually work it in as close as they possibly can towards the penalty arc. As Gutierrez and Connor Frickman were settling right down in that area. So the corner kick may possibly ensue. Making a toss in from that area. The header by Castillo as Gonzalez and Maldonado make contact. Be interesting to see who has possession. It appears they'll keep it on the Nomad side of the field. So unofficially halfway through the second half of play, there's still no score. A defensive battle here as Conklin sends in Rashid Nomad on the defense. Gustafson from well outside the 18 sends it up high, and Ovidio Martinez goes up high as well to make a nice play for Real Madrid. Waste no time spanking it up towards the halfway line as Castillo, one touch to Jason McGee, trying to send it in towards Rojas, and Alexander back defensively as to no one's surprise. Gustafson sends it up forward to Doug Pate. Doug Pate working against Boris Gill. Gill comes away with a nice play. Gill controlling in the middle. One touch pass out to Rojas. Gustafson with a nice defensive play as Alejandro Gutierrez works it up field here to Connor Frickman. Frickman will try to bring the ball towards the middle as he works it back to Pate. Pate on the far side to Conklin. The Nomads working the ball around nicely as Conklin sends it into Gutierrez, and that one just getting to the outside of everybody as Frickman tries to follow up on the nice defensive play there by Willie Valdivia Mares. Gerald Conklin, the talented little guy for the Nomads, will bring in the corner kick. Very accurate, the header by Gutierrez. That one just getting away from him as McGee traps and attempts to send it up to Gerardo Herrera. Both defenders right there for La Jolla. Led by the hustling Matt Serenas. Bessel, you can see him attempting to one-touch pass it into Conklin, only to be broken up by the Redhawks. So this one turning into a real classic. We mentioned earlier that this game could very easily be the final game. These two teams, the most talented of the bunch. As Carl Gustafson in your screen will send the free kick down towards the penalty arc. You can see Maldonado trying to get offensive control there against Cesar Gonzalez, and he's called for the contact. As Adrian Davalos wastes no time setting up and kicking it towards McGee, who tried to one-touch it out to Gill. Doug Pate pushes it out to Gustafson. You can see Frickman breaking off the ball, almost getting free there. The wind not allowing that ball to be kicked over the head of the defenders. Maldonado, and a strong kick, and that one right into the belly area of Ovidio Martinez. But a strong kick there on the left side by Gerald Coughlin. He's small in size and in height, but very strong-footed. Alexander with the header against Cesar Gonzalez. McGee sends it upfield towards Cesar Gonzalez. Marked momentarily by Jeff Alexander. Rojas working into Herrera. Broken up by Doug Pate. Coughlin almost had that one taken away by Max Castillo. Attempting to make a fine defensive play as Robert Bessler hustling on the far side and Rashid Nomad hustling just as fast to come up with the play.
Give it to somebody, Trevor.
Maldonado working against McGee. Works it outside to Coughlin. Coughlin crosses it in right into the hands of Ovidio Martinez. Cesar Gonzalez goes up for the header, but Alexander, the taller of the two players, actually gets his head on the ball instead. Little contact made. You could see Gill get sandwiched there right between the two defenders, Pate and Gutierrez. So unofficially, 7-8 minutes left in the ball game. As Davalos sends it down towards McGee, the header by Alexander. The Nomads send it up across the, or towards the halfway line. The one-touch pass outside to Bessler. Bessler, you can see him looking inside to Gutierrez. Gutierrez just trying to get positioning against Willie Mares. So you have to give a lot of credit to Mares on that play on the near side, hustling back very, very fast to try to get his body in front of the breaking Alejandro Gutierrez. Jose Maldonado in your screen. He has a strong leg. He will send this one in. You can see Ovidio Martinez very alertly getting set in that goal area. And the shot right there at Ovidio. Scoops that one up like a shortstop. Makes a nice play. Martinez with the low trajectory punt. And that one picked off by Connor Frickman, splitting the defenders. Finally belted away there by Mares. Maldonado with the shot up high and over the left side of the goal. So the Nomads trying to make it exciting here in the closing 5 minutes of play. We're still scoreless. Doug Pate trapping, sends it into Maldonado. That one broken away by Rashid Nomad. As McGee attempts to send it up towards Gerardo Herrera, and the Nomads hustle back. So each team will be looking for a possible breakaway here in the closing minutes of play.
Sub! Hey!
McGee trapping and controlling here. Looks as if he wanted to send a shot towards the goal and kind of hesitated. Maldonado working against Gill. Davalos hustling over defensively as well. You can see him just screening his body, making the nice play there to keep the ball in possession of the Redhawks. So Steve Machad, the coach of Real Madrid, about to send in Devin Bodie. He'll come into the lineup, and Steven Rojas will take a break here for Real Madrid. So Devin Bodie in your screen, attempting to head that one out towards Cesar Gonzalez. You can see Bessler just trying to touch that one out towards Gerald Coughlin. The defense of the Redhawks getting the job done in that little mini battle. Alexander sends it up towards Bessler. Bessler trying to hit the breaking Conklin, but Trevor Michaud breaking on the play as well. So the players this afternoon, very, very talented. The winners of this semifinal match will play against the winner of the Arsenal and Emperors game. They're playing as we speak, so have no idea which team they'll actually play. So Alejandro Gutierrez will sit down for the Nomads, and Steve Sharundala, the talented sweeper, back into the lineup for La Jolla. Little battle on the far side as both players went up for the header, and Max Castillo and his team will keep possession. He'll give way, to no surprise, to Adrian Davalos, who handles the majority of the free kicks, sends it in towards McGee. That one broken up by Maldonado. Maldonado controlling at the halfway line. You can see Sharundala breaking off the ball as he tried to go out to Sharundala, and Mares coming up with the nice play. Gerald Conklin working against Max Castillo. Doug Pate sends it up towards Connor Frickman, and the shot lifted up by Steve Sharundalo. The wind catching that one, making an easy play for Ovidio Martinez. McGee sends that one up to the hustling Cesar Gonzalez, and Alexander coming up with a fine play, as he has done all afternoon long. Some contact is made, and that one may very well go against Cesar Gonzalez. We'll find out here in a moment, as you can see Jeff Alexander, the talented stopper, go down. Appeared to have been shaken up on the play, but he stands up, and I'm sure he'll stay in the ball game. A yellow card has been administered, however, to Cesar Gonzalez. The referee apparently feeling that the contact after the nice tackle by Alexander completely unnecessary. As Carl Gustafson will handle the goal kick for La Jolla. Sends it up towards Bessler. Bessler pushes it out, and the nice sliding tackle by Trevor Michaud. Bessler and Conklin working very hard on that far side. Davalos and Mares defending. McGee sends it out here towards Boris Gill. And that will do it at the end of regulation. So we will have 2 7 or 10-minute overtime periods. We'll find out here momentarily. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions. As we mentioned before, this one turning out to be quite a classic. Nomads of La Jolla 0, the Red Hawks out of Real Madrid in the LA area 0 as well. We'll be back in a moment for the overtime period. Jason McGee and Max Castillo, 13 and 19 respectively. Speaking with the center referee, Amin Shakil. The linesman Len Zoller there as well, and Carl Gustafson, the captain for the Nomads, discussing the overtime period about to come your way, as the end of regulation ended in a 0-0 tie. This one an exciting semifinal matchup. We'll play 2 10-minute overtime periods if necessary before they do the alternating of the kicks. And on the toss, I missed who would actually have the first possession, but of course we'll find that out very, very momentarily. So the overtime period about to get underway here in the semifinals. The overtime period is 10 minutes. We'll be back in a moment. So the Nomads of La Jolla will have first possession here in the first overtime period. The Nomads in white with the red jerseys. Real Madrid in the red and black jerseys going right to left on our video dial, as Maldonado works it outside to Conklin. Working back and forth, and Conklin controlling at the halfway line. And Steven Rojas on the defense. You can see them attempt to work it upfield there to Graham Callier. Max Castillo defending nicely against Gerald Coughlin. That one trickling off the foot of Coughlin, put back in possession of the Redhawks. Garrett Markham trying to smash that one up towards his area as Cesar Gonzalez works it up, belted away by Jeff Alexander. Sharundalo, Max Castillo controlling. You can see him tap it inside. Gill and Gonzalez. And Cesar Gonzalez almost getting free. The nice defensive play by Jeff Alexander. Gill works it into Gonzalez. That one, the nice defensive play there. Sharundala works it up. Rashid Nomad sends it out to Mashad. Mashad works it upfield to Rojas. Rojas called for an offside. You can see him as the ball was pushed up, was at least 2, possibly 3 feet out in front of the defender.
All right, Redhawks, you can do it. You can do it. You can do it, Redhawks. You can do it.
Garrett Markham sends it upfield. Castillo breaking it up. Castillo tries to cross it in to McGee, broken up by Alexander. Castillo marking and tackling nicely against Coughlin. Connor Frickman trying to touch it out to Bessler. Bessler from outside the 18 takes the shot. That one knocked away nicely by Rashid Nomad. Graham Callier settling in the penalty area. The header just over the goalpost, but a gallant attempt there by Jeff Alexander, taking full advantage of his height. Went up high and tried to hit it into the right portion of the goal, and that one a soccer ball length over the top. What an exciting goal that would have been, and of course would have put the Nomads out in front 1-0 as we remain scoreless here. We're in the first overtime period. Sharundala sends it out to Graham Callier. Max Castillo crossing that one into McGee. And the handling of the ball is called against Alexander. So Alexander making the smart play if he's going to get away with it without being issued a yellow card. Not a bad play to stop a possible breakaway as Cesar sends that one headed back to or by Alexander. Boris Gill on the near side. Cesar Gonzalez attempting to split the defenders. Connor Frickman there to defend, and McGee will have a shot, puts it up off to the right. Max Castillo in your screen will handle the corner kick for the Redhawks. Sends it in, belted away by the Nomads. Graham Callier attempting to control. Trevor Mashad breaking that one up momentarily. Rashid Nomad sends that one down towards the goal area. Robin Gill, the reverse kick back to and towards Cesar Gonzalez. Max Castillo on the far side, being marked aggressively by Matt Serenas.
Right, Max, right, Max. Let's go, Red Hawk, let's go.
So again, on that previous attempted shot on goal by Jason McGee, didn't get his footing as he would have liked, but that one, and a nice play there by David Meisner coming out of the box to make the play. But McGee didn't get the foot on the ball as solidly as he would have liked on that previous shot on goal, but a credit to Jeff Alexander once again getting his foot in there the last second to knock that one away and disallow a goal. Davalos attempting to send it out to Steven Rojas. Garrett Markham back defending.
Go Red Hawk, go Red Hawk.
Max Castillo sending it into Cesar Gonzalez. Castillo to McGee. Belted away by Markham. Trapping and controlling. The Nomads just trying to get possession. That was Graham Callier. Gerald Coughlin works it up towards Connor Frickman. Rashid Nomad able to hustle back.
Let's go, Red Hawks. Take the ball, take the ball, take the ball.
Coughlin working against Mashad. Rashid Nomad sends it up in the air. It's anyone's ball now as Maldonado comes away with it. And the shot from well outside the 18, just off to the right there by Carl Gustafson.
Devin, where at?
Alexander to Maldonado. Maldonado crossing it in. And a trickler by Graham Callier, giving Ovidio Martinez plenty of time to scoop it up.
Come on, quit arguing out there. Play ball.
Martinez attempting to send it up to Castillos as Rojas heads it back to Castillos. Broken up nicely there by Gerald Coughlin on the far side as the Nomads work it upfield. Matt Serenas works it up nicely on the far side to cross it in. That one almost getting through the defenders there. You can see Connor Frickman trying to set himself up just in front of the penalty arc for a possible shot towards the goal, but to no avail. Connor Frickman, Jeff Alexander setting up for a possible header. You saw Alexander go up high, that one getting over his head. Doug Pate wanting to hustle that ball in play. Saw the defense of the Red Hawks cover up very, very quickly. So it appears that a substitution has been made as Doug Pate, who it appeared was going to send the ball in, will go out of the lineup. Maldonado sends it up high, and Ovidio Martinez hustling a good portion of the way out of the box to make that play. It's a good thing he gets his hands on the ball as McGee tries to send it out to Rojas. Garrett Markham back easily.
Take it, Boris. Take it, go get it, go get it, go get it.
Come on.
Boris Gill working into McGee. Alexander marking and tackling nicely. Touches it outside to Coughlin. Gustafson sends it up to Frickman. Actually, the header there by Callier. So that will do it. The first overtime period coming to a close. We're still scoreless. We'll be back in a moment for the second 10-minute overtime period. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions.
Steven, sub, we sub.
Gerardo Herrera will come into the lineup here in the second overtime period for Steven Rojas. Real Madrid going left to right on our video dial. Send the ball way up towards the goal as David Meisner easily there to make the play. As Meisner sends it up high. The header by Gustafson. Callier working it out to Connor Frickman. Frickman out to Gustafson. And Callier and Frickman will break towards the goal accordingly as Gustafson look to see him cross it in as he does. And that one high and behind the goal. Adrian Dovalis. As Coughlin here on the near side attempt to cross that one in. Broken up by Rashid Nomad. The Nomads going right to left on our video dial in this closing overtime period. As Sharundalo really hustling there, and the shot by Maldonado broken up nicely by Davalos. As Cesar Gonzalez sends it up strongly towards McGee. Garrett Markham back defensively with Alexander. Markham sends it up towards Sharundalo. Connor Frickman, defended by Rashid Noman.
Good, Rashid.
So if the match still ends in a tie after the second overtime period, we'll go with the penalty kicks to decide the victor. And Robert Kaufman with the header here.
Go, Max, go, Max, go,
Max Castillo controlling here on the near side. See him looking upfield.
Move it up.
Directs it towards Cesar Gonzalez. Gonzalez on the move. Maldonado hustling back defensively. Little contact made, apparently incidental. There's no call. As they send it out to Castillo on the right side. Look to see him centered into Herrera. And just getting his foot on it was Robert Kaufman.
Good, Red Hawks, good, Red Hawks, good, Red Hawks. Good, Red Hawks. This is it, Red Hawks, this is it. This is it, Red Hawks.
Max Castillo in your screen to handle the corner kick as the camera gradually goes towards the goal area. You can see the players setting up. McGee hustling towards the ball, broken up by Markham. McGee once again sends it back out to Castillo. Castillo with the high cross. The attempted header by Gonzalez, that one just getting away from him as Devin Bodie crosses it in, and nice play by David Meisner. Bravely went up in a crowd and snagged that one with two hands. So a big play, Meisner.
Control, Red Hawks. Control.
Gustafson sends it out here on the near side to Gerald Conklin, being marked and tackled very closely by Castillo. Davalos attempting to work it out to Gill. Mares sends it up to McGee. Sliding tackle by Alexander. Bodie back out to Gill. Gill upfield to the breaking Jason McGee, and Markham back in his position to defend. Devin Bodie with the tackle on the far side.
Put one in, Red Hawks.
Sharundalo works it upfield to Connor Frickman.
Good, Rashid.
Big play, Rashid Nomad.
If you tell them, they do it on their own. See there, go to the front.
Sharundalo, you can see the spunky defender has played on the offensive end in this second half of play the majority of the time. A very spunky player just trying to keep control for the Nomads. Sharundalo sends it out to Callier, broken up by Davalos. Castillo centers it in to Gonzalez. Gonzalez with a big kick upfield to no awaiting teammate, as you saw Devon Bodie on the left side and Herrera on the right just could not get up fast enough. That ball kicked well out in front of his teammates.
Ronald.
Gill trapping, sends it into McGee. Alexander breaks it up.
Put the pressure on.
Gustafson sending it out to the near side to Conklin. Conklin against Castillo, attempts to center that one in to Callier. On the far side is Connor Frickman. Frickman to Sharundalo. Sharundalo working against Rashid Nomad. Nomad with another fine defensive play. Will result in a corner kick, and Steve Sharundalo will handle that. Alexander, to no one's surprise, sets up in the goal area for a possible attempted header. Connor Frickman in there as well. And Sharundalo will give way to Gerald Conklin. The left-footed kicker will send in a low banana kick. That one knocked away by Davalos.
Steven. Stay with me. Come on, stay with me.
Cesar Gonzalez trying to work that one upfield. That one getting up in the air a bit as Ovidio Martinez will control. So the wind picking up, going right to left on our video dial. Working to the advantage of La Jolla.
Stop. All right. Okay, 7.
So right here on your screen is Steven Rojas. Will come back into the lineup for the Red Hawks.
We need him for penalties at the end, Caesar. Team's almost done. They're going to penalties.
And taking a break will be Devin Bodie. So the second overtime period about to come to a close here. It appears that the penalty kicks will be coming up here in a bit to decide who will go on to the championship. Markham sending that one up towards Maldonado. Gets by him. Graham Callier trapping and controlling. Sends it upfield and getting free and called for the offsides is Steve Sharundalo. Adrian Davalis with a strong kick. Gerardo Herrera hustling on the near side to keep the ball in play for Real Madrid. Gets away from the defender, crosses it in. The kick by McGee up high. Callier trying to control for the Nomads. Cesar Gonzalez shifting right to left. Touches it out to Rojas, who centers it in. And Herrera with the shot from well outside. That one slicing off to the right. Header by Gonzalez. Back-to-back headers. Alexander. Trevor Michaud pushes it up towards Gonzalez. Taken away by the Nomads. Cesar Gonzalez pushing it outside to Steven Rojas.
All right, come on, Red Hawk. Taste it. Taste it. Good.
So the ball going back and forth fluidly from one side to the next as Sharundalo is accidentally tripped there by Mares. Carl Gustafson sets up for the free kick, sends it in. Gerald Coughlin hustling on the near side to keep the ball in play and does just that. Trevor Michaud on the defense as they cross it in.
All right, OV.
Heads up play there by Cesar Gonzalez to tap that one up in the air with his foot so that Ovidio Martinez could control accordingly.
Go, 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 go.
Robert Kaufman.
Control, take the ball. Take it, take it, take it.
Sharundalo works it out to Gustafson.
Go, Borders, good, Borders.
Carl working on the far side against Boris Gill. Gill coming away with a fine play. Connor Frickman back to Gustafson, who will cross it in, and the shot, that one getting away from Graham Callier. You could see him holding his head as if to say, I wish I had that one back.
Go, Rado, go.
Kaufman
Good,
centers it in.
good.
So the Nomads threatening here. That one is sent in high towards the goal area. And Callier getting stopped and defended. Maldonado with a shot, and that one defended nicely there by the Red Hawks. And that will do it. The two overtime periods coming to a close here at the University of California at Irvine. You're watching an exciting semifinal match here in the Huntington Beach Invitational. We'll go into penalty kicks as the score remains the Nomads 0, Real Madrid of Los Angeles 0 as well. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions. And we'll be back in a moment for the penalty kicks. Steve Sharundalo for the Nomads will attempt the first kick. And he pushes it off to the right. A nice save there by Ovidio Martinez. Number 19, Max Castillo for the Red Hawks will attempt the first kick. Pushes it through, and that one a nice save by David Meisner, the goalie for the Nomads. So each team unsuccessful on their first attempts. Robert Kaufman, the second attempt for the Nomads, runs up and pushes that one nicely into the left portion of the net, just beyond the outstretched arms of the diving Ovidio Martinez. Number 13, the midfielder for Real Madrid, Jason McGee, to attempt the second penalty kick. Pushes it to the right side, and in there, we're all tied up at 1 apiece. Garrett Markham, the right winger for the Nomads, to attempt the third shot. Pushes it to the left, and a great play there by Ovidio Martinez, as you saw him just hammer his right hand down and just get his hand on the ball. An awesome play there by Martinez. Number 10, Cesar Gonzalez, in your screen, the center forward for the Red Hawks. Pushes that one up high and to the left and score it for Cesar Gonzalez. 2-1 after 3 kicks for each side. So a crucial kick coming up here for number 5, the right defender, Carl Gustafson. And hits that one hard and high to the left. Spanks that one in fairly easily for the second goal. We're tied at 2. Number 7, the left midfielder, Boris Gill, to attempt the fourth kick. As he walks up slowly, kicks with his left foot is high and over the goal post. Jose Maldonado, the center midfielder, to attempt the fifth kick and pushes that one off to the right and scores it through. So the Real Madrid team has to come through here in the clutch with their final kicker. The goalie, Ovidio Martinez, will handle the last kick for the Red Hawks, and he pushes it through. An easy goal, and we're all tied up after the penalty kicks. Graham Callier, the center forward for the Nomads, will be the first kicker for the sudden death playoff here of penalty kicks. Ovidio Martinez in the goal. As Callier hustles up and tries to spank that one through the left side of the goal, and Ovidio Martinez with a great save. So Gerardo Herrera with the kick off to the right and score it. And Real Madrid does it. They win the semifinals as they celebrate here in the middle of the field. They'll go on to play in the championship game this afternoon. So what a semifinal you have just witnessed. This one going right down to the wire right from the start. Ends at a tie at 0-0 in regulation. The first 10-minute overtime period still ends at 0-0. The second overtime period, the same result, 0-0. Then we go into penalty kicks. Each team successful on 3 of 5, and then we go into a sudden death And Real Madrid gets the job done thanks to Gerardo Herrera coming through in the clutch. I'm Mike Benson for George Langevin Productions. We hope you enjoyed all the action as we always enjoy bringing it to you. Until next time, take care.